Hey, before we get into today's episode, I am looking for 5 course creators who have at least a rough outline and want honest feedback on their course structure. I'm offering a free 30-minute video call where I'll tell you the single biggest structural problem I see and how to fix it. If that's you, grab a spot. The link is at the bottom of the show notes. You are thinking about creating your first online course, but you're not sure if you're actually ready. You keep hearing that a course is the next step to scaling your business. But here's what nobody tells you. There are things you need to have in place before you start building, and if you skip them, you're going to waste a lot of time and energy on a course that doesn't work. After 17 years as an educator and course designer, I've seen this play out over and over and over. Today, I'm going to walk you through 4 things you need to have ready before you create your first course so you can go in prepared instead of scrambling. A lot of solopreneurs hit a point where they think, I've been coaching one-on-one for a while. I know my stuff. I'm ready to build a course. And so they dive in. They start outlining modules. They start recording lessons. They're excited because this is going to be the thing that lets them scale. And then about halfway through building it, something happens. They run into a concept they've always just handled in the moment with their clients, something they adjusted on the fly during coaching sessions without even thinking about it. But now they're trying to put it into a lesson and they realize they don't actually have a clear way to teach it. It was intuition, not a system. I've seen this play out with several course creators. They had the expertise, they had the knowledge, they've helped a handful of clients get results, but when it came time to package it into something that works without them in the room, the gaps started showing up pretty fast. Think about the difference between cooking dinner for one person versus writing a recipe that thousands of people are going to follow without you standing in the kitchen. When you're cooking for one, you can taste as you go. You adjust the seasonings. You can turn down the heat if something starts to burn. You're right there making real-time decisions. But a recipe has to work without you. Every measurement has to be right. Every step has to be in the right order because the person following it can't turn to you and say, hey, does this look right? That's the difference between coaching and a course. And it's why the first thing you need before building a course is a proven, repeatable system. Not just expertise, not just I've helped a few people. You need to have taken enough clients through your process that the core steps stay consistent every time. You're not reinventing the wheel with each new person. You might adjust the details, but the overall path from where they start to where they end up is something you could map out right now without thinking too hard about it. If you can't do that yet, it's okay. It doesn't mean you'll never be ready. It means you need more reps. Keep coaching, keep refining, and pay attention to the patterns. But let's say your system is solid. You know it works. You can map it out today. Does that mean you're ready to hit record? Not necessarily, because there's something else that catches people off guard. Imagine this. Your client just paid for your course. Maybe it's a group program and they show up to the first live call excited and ready to learn. And you pop on screen. Except you're sitting on your bed. There's a pile of laundry behind you. The room is dim. They can barely hear you because you're using your tinny little laptop microphone and it's picking up every sound in the room. Think about how much confidence that client has in you right now. They just handed you their money and this is the first impression they're getting. Now flip it. Same person, same expertise, but you show up with a clean background, even if it's just a plain wall. Your lighting is decent. They can hear you clearly. You're looking into the camera, not down at your notes. You sound prepared. That's a completely different experience for that client. And here's the part that surprises people even more than the setup. You might think, I do Zoom calls all the time with my coaching clients. I am fine on camera. And I get why you'd think that. But after 17 years of doing this, I can tell you that talking to a camera lens with nobody on the other side is a completely different skill. In a one-on-one call, you've got head nods, facial expressions, someone jumping in with a question. You're having a conversation. But when you're recording a lesson for an asynchronous course or presenting to a group where a lot of people might have their cameras turned off, it's just you and the lens. And if you're not used to it, that will show. So the second thing you need is comfort with presenting. Not just being on camera for a conversation, but actually delivering content in a way that's engaging and clear. Here's something that will help. Script your lessons. Now, I know you're already saying, if I read a script, I'm going to sound like a robot. And when you first start, you probably will. But this is a skill you develop. Newscasters do it all the time and sound like they're just having a conversation with you. What you're listening to right now is fully scripted. I am literally reading this to you right now, and if I'm doing my job right, it sounds like I'm just talking. But that takes practice, and it's absolutely a skill that you can build. If you don't feel ready yet, start now. Take something you repeatedly help your clients with and record a short lesson on it. Get used to the lens. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to practice before you're charging people for the experience. All right, so you've got a proven system, you're comfortable on camera, you might be thinking, great, I'm ready to go. But there's something most people don't even consider until they're already in over their heads. Here's what I hear all the time. I'll build the course, put it out there, and it'll just bring in money, as if once it's built, the hard work is done, and now it's just passive income. And I get why people think that. It's how courses get marketed to us. Build it once, sell it forever. But that's not how it actually works. It does not matter how bulletproof you make your course. Someone is going to have trouble accessing it. Somebody is going to get confused about where to start. Somebody is going to email you with a question you thought you already answered in lesson 3, and you need to be there to handle it. Now, here's where it gets really problematic, especially with group programs. Week 1, a client sends you a quick question between calls. No big deal, 5 minutes of your time. Week 2, 3 clients send you quick questions. Still manageable. Week 3, 5 clients are emailing you. And a couple of them aren't really asking quick questions anymore. They're asking the kind of detailed questions that used to come up in your one-on-one sessions. They're trying to get one-on-one level access at the group program price. And suddenly, you realize you're spending more time on your group clients than on your one-on-one clients who are paying you significantly more. You start dreading your inbox. The whole reason you created this program was to free up your time, and now it's eating up more of it than ever. So the third thing you need is a plan to protect it. Not just a free weekend to batch record lessons, ongoing consistent time for support, and clear boundaries set from day one. What do clients get access to between calls? How quickly will you respond? What counts as a quick question versus something that needs to wait for the next session? If you don't define these things up front, your clients will define them for you, and you will not like where that lands. You also need to be realistic about the upfront investment. Building a course takes significantly more prep time than one-on-one coaching, whether that's creating slide decks for live sessions or recording and editing full lessons. And you're doing all of this on top of your current client load. So before you commit, take an honest look at your schedule. Not a hopeful look, an honest one. This brings me to the last thing, and it's where I'm going to disagree with a lot of people in this space. You've probably heard this advice. Don't build your course first. Sell it first. Get people to pay and then build it as you go. The idea is you validate demand before you invest all that time creating content. And I get the logic. It sounds smart. It sounds efficient. But let me tell you what that actually looks like from the inside. When I first started teaching college, I was told you only need to be 1 week ahead of your students. And technically, that's true. You can prepare your materials 1 week at a time. But here's what that feels like. I'd finish class on Thursday, take a breath, and then Friday morning, I was grinding to get the next week's lesson ready, building slides, writing exercises, prepping materials. All while grading from this week, answering emails, and managing all the other administrative stuff. I did that for an entire semester. By the end, I was burnt out, and the quality of what I was delivering showed it. Now imagine doing that while also coaching one-on-one clients, marketing your business, managing your inbox, and trying to have a life. That's what sell it first, build it as you go actually looks like in practice. It sounds efficient in theory. In reality, it's a grind that compromises the quality of everything you're delivering. And here's what really bothers me about that approach. The whole point of a course is transformation. Your clients are paying you to help them get from where they are to where they want to be. If you're scrambling to stay one step ahead of them, you are not focused on delivering the best possible experience. You're focused on not falling behind. That's a completely different energy, and your clients will feel it. So, the fourth thing you need, and this is the one I feel most strongly about, build your course before you sell it. Now, I'm not saying every piece of content needs to be polished and perfected, but the core structure should exist. Your modules, your lessons, the outcomes for each lesson, the path your clients are going to walk. That should all be mapped out and built before anyone pays you. Because here's the bottom line. If you build a course that genuinely transforms your clients, those clients become your best marketing. They leave testimonials, they refer people, they tell everyone they know. But that only happens if the course is good. And it's really hard to make the course good when you're building it at the same time people are already going through it. If you're listening to this and thinking, I've got some of these things in place, but not all of them, that's a great sign. It means you're thinking about this the right way instead of just jumping in and hoping for the best. If you want to hear more about how to actually structure your course once you're ready to build, check out my episode, How Long to Make Your Course. I'll walk you through the nuts and bolts of course structure so you know exactly what you're building towards. You've been listening to Course Creation for Solopreneurs. I'm Dr. Curtis Satterfield, and if nobody's told you lately, you've got what it takes to build your course. I'll talk to you in the next one.